Hey everybody, this is Kathy. Welcome back. Now, I'm always amazed when I re-look at something what I missed. And sometimes though it is hindsight. At the time it might not mean anything, but when you look back it means a lot. And this is one of them instances that we're going to go over. I'm going to show you that and this is so strange, these plans that Eric had right in front of us, but behind our back. And even his mom was involved, and we all know that. Well, kind of starting to put the pieces together. That remember, Eric always brags about his mom and dad who grew up with foster kids in the house, right? Getting custody of these people and whatnots, and that. Anyway, somebody else was saying that the mom had ties to, was it Sonny or somebody? I can't remember. But all of a sudden, somebody on YouTube that people are thinking are shady is connected to Eric's mom. The mom keeps popping up, okay? And also, for adopting all these handicapped people her whole life, you would think that Eric had heard about adult protection before, but he tried to tell us that, wow, that was the first he heard about adult protection is when he's standing in their lobby. You know what I mean? Like we're supposed to buy that. But Eric's mom, she was involved with these mentally challenged and developmentally disabled people and, all this her whole life, Eric says. Well, so looking back at this, and remember, she was in the chat. She was in one of Eric's first chat, rooting him on to get some type of a fund up for a, well, she said, hey, Eric, remember, they're going to need a special van or something. Anyway, giving him ideas, you know what I mean? But anyway, here the mom, and this, I never caught this, you guys. I never caught this, so I just watched it. And it's funny because usually I'm working on a different video, and I catch something like just out of nowhere. Anyway, so let's check out this clip. And he's going to tell you all the plans he had for Timmy. Now, this is on Friday, September 5th, and this is the day that Eric came back with the Amish with the chips and then found out BJ was in the camper and he had the big embarrassing blow up on the porch and wanted them to call 911 and stuff. And now he's doing this video. Remember, he's in the Airbnb with his friends. Douche gets on here and he talks, and he's got Robert Mass there. He's got I think Robert Mass' friend and God knows who else. All right. So he's here at this Airbnb this night where everything fell through. And I'm going to tell you, the chat is really confused. A lot of them are saying, Eric, why don't you just sleep on it instead of just calling it off? Take a minute, you know what I mean? Anyway, so that's this day. And anyway, so let's see what he has to say about all the big plans he has with Timmy. Oh, by the way, first of all, it starts out with somebody giving a super chat for $9.99. It says, Eric, please go back for Timmy, at least to check on him, and see if he can still go back to Georgia with you. Okay, let's see what Eric has to say about that.
See here, Danielle Fiskus, $9.99. Eric, please go back for Timmy at least to check on him and see if he can still go back to Georgia with you.
I asked today, and she had said yes. I mean, you guys didn't know this. I had a lady that works in Florida.
All right, now this is that day where everything blew up on the porch. Before
she literally gets free Universal Studio tickets.
Wait a second.
My family.
Back this up. Or is it right here? Back to Georgia, yeah.
Today,
okay.
She had said yes.
Now this day when this is the day he asked he didn't really say who he asked. I'm assuming Betty. He asked her today, can I go? Can Timmy still come back to Georgia? And she said yes. All right. So this is the day that he blew up. So I guess it's safe to say that he asked this before the blow up. You know what I mean? Because I think they went there once and to walk the property or something like that, and that's when Robert Mass did the the photo shoot with the hugging Timmy, saying Amish agreed, and all this other stuff. Anyway, so they left. They went to, because I think what happened is they went there first, and they didn't see BJ, so he couldn't blow up about it. So they left, and they came back with some pizzas, and or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, he was there, and that's probably when he asked Betty if he can still go back to Georgia. And anyway, but then later when the big blow up, I guess the trip was canceled. But Eric had a lot of big plans for this trip, and I mean a lot. And you know who else had plans? Eric's mom. This is just like blows me away.
You can still go back to Georgia with you.
I asked today, and she had said yes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you guys didn't know this. I had a lady that works in Florida. She literally gets free Universal Studio tickets. My family, with my girls, we had planned a trip. When I go home, we were going to get Timmy to Universal Studios because his new thing is E.T. Because that first night at this Airbnb, he spent the night with me watching E.T. and every day he talks about it every day. And since that night, that was when it starts getting dark, he starts getting on to me, get off your phone. He wanted that again. That night became special to him. He's like, oh no, I want this to be my routine every night. I could shut everything off. No.
And it is, I mean, I don't know how obvious this is. It can't get any more obvious. Eric has been pushing to, well, I'm sure adult protection and an entire audience in the world that he would be a good daddy for Timmy. And he's been harping about during this particular live stream and others that how he had Timmy into a routine, a morning routine, a nighttime routine, healthy habits, and all this other stuff. So this is another thing that he's like, oh, so every night I had to shut the phone off and spend time with Timmy. Well, you know what? How long would that have lasted? And I'm being honest because, I mean, that's an honest question. Because if you think about it, out of, I don't have, where's that slip of paper? Hold on a second. Well, he had, out of like 3 months, he had only been home like 8 or 10 days or something. I can't remember. Out of 75 days or something like that. And even before the John Mass trial, he was gone for a long time for something else. I can't remember. And his little buddy Jeff there, the one who did the plea to the state police to call it the investigation, that Jeff, even he said that, Eric's never home. And well, he said in that video, well, no, Eric said, I'm never home. I'm always gone. I'm never home. But what Jeff said was that he met him at a convention or something, on some sidewalk or something, where he had a booth, and that he's done a lot of traveling with Eric. So Eric apparently is never home. So Eric, when was this routine you're making for Timmy and bring him home? When exactly were you going to see Timmy? Because we've seen you haven't been home, and nobody can deny that you're barely home. Even out of Eric's own mouth, he said, I'm never home, you guys. I hardly ever get home. So if you bring Timmy home and you want him to live with you, how often would Timmy see you? because right now you haven't seen your wife and kids in uh, hardly at all for an entire summer. And a while before that, I mean, you barely stop home. So, who is this routine for? If you're going to be, take them home and then leave again, because let's just see how often Eric is home from now on. You know what I mean? Because right now he's not even have a nighttime routine with his own children. And I'm not making a dig. I'm saying that's a fact. Right in front of us. Is he home with his kids right now doing a nighttime routine? No, he's in an Airbnb 1,000 miles away with, I don't know, 5 of his buddies from all over the country. Having a good old time for no reason. Yeah, so this nighttime routine can be a morning routine, nighttime routine, healthy habits, and then what? Bring him home and then take off again? Let your wife take care of him? I mean, who's going to take care of Timmy? Or are you going to bring him traveling with you? Because by all accounts, he travels all the time. Hardly home ever on his own, out of his own mouth. Anyway, morning routine.
Cell phones, no nothing. It was just me and Timmy. And I explained to him what was going on in ET. I had told him about the ride at Universal Studios. And I could just see Timmy's face eating that up, dude. But it was literally free tickets to Universal Studios. And I figured he's never been to the beach. If we're that close in Orlando, you're not far from Daytona or Cocoa. At least let him see what the ocean looks like, I had so many, and then I had
okay, so Universal Studio in the ocean.
And in Fort Benning with the soldiers.
Yeah.
He was going to bring him to Fort Benning with the soldiers. I mean, okay.
Something planned in Fort Benning with the soldiers.
Yeah.
So he had something already planned. Okay, he was going to go see the ocean. Let's see, Universal Studios. I had so many.
I had something planned in Fort Benning.
And then I had something planned in Fort Benning.
With the soldiers.
With the soldiers.
Yeah. I won't speak on it, but I mean, I had a lot of plans with
I
Timmy.
won't speak on it, but I had a lot of plans with Timmy. So people who think he wasn't going to bring him home for longer than 2 weeks, I don't know. Hold on a second. Dog's ringing the bell. All right, they saw it was raining and did a U-turn, came back in. Anyway, so he won't speak on it. All right, he had a lot of plans with Timmy. Keep going.
I got a buddy that he's one of the last ones. Timmy's really gotten into Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
And my buddy is one of the only people in the country that has a working showbiz Rock-afire explosion set, the animatronics.
Yeah.
The old original Chuck E. Cheese animatronics, amongst other stuff at his house. And I had Timmy a tour that he was going to be able to do.
Okay, a tour of the Chuck E. Cheese animatronics. Okay, wow.
Could not wait. And then Timmy's been talking to my mama.
Okay, now, buckle your seatbelts, okay? Timmy has been talking with Eric's mama. Yeah, ready for this? Go ahead, Eric. So many plans. Yeah. Now, we didn't hear about this talking to your Eric's mama, but go ahead.
Could not wait. And then Timmy's been talking to my mama, who the grandkids refer to as Nana. I got a video of him the other day, and it was so weird because all he's done is, a few FaceTimes with her. He's been singing about Nana in the shower, and every day, Nana. He's been looking for.
Okay. Oh, okay. Oh my goodness. Did you hear what he just said? He says that Timmy has been talking and FaceTiming with Eric behind the scenes, okay? Because we didn't hear nothing about this. But Timmy has been FaceTiming back and forth and some phone calls with Eric's mom. Now, the grandchildren call her Nana. Okay, so Eric's mom has grandchildren, and the grandchildren call her Nana. And Timmy calls her Nana. And Timmy is singing in the shower about Nana Carroll. Timmy is calling Eric's mom Grandma Nana. Really? Wow. Anybody know this was going on? And why is he singing in the shower about Eric's mom? Why is he singing in the shower about Nana Carroll? You know, we did see one time where Eric was outside the bathroom and it sounded like the water was running, like a shower or something. And he's standing outside the bathroom door at the Airbnb listening to Timmy singing in the shower. And to me, kind of sounded like he was crying. But he was saying, Mama, Mama, Mama. Like, it sounded like he was crying. And he's saying, I'm bringing him home today. He finally gets to go home. He's really happy. And to me, if you guys remember that video, to me it sounded like he was in there crying for Mama. He goes, oh, look, he's so excited. He's going to go see his Mama today. He's singing in the shower, Mama. It just didn't sound like singing to me. But anyway, so now he wants you to believe that Timmy is also singing in the shower about Eric's mom. Now, if that's not weird, I don't know what is. So he wants us to believe that Timmy already has a built-in grandma when he gets back to Georgia. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
That tour that he was going to be able to do. I could not wait. And then Timmy's been talking to my mama, who the grandkids refer to as Nana. I got a video of him the other day, and it was so weird because all he's done is, a few FaceTimes with her. He's been singing about Nana in the shower, and every day, Nana. He's been looking forward to seeing Nana because she, ever since the first time I introduced her to the Lickers and Soft White Underbelly, the day she saw Timmy, she said, he's my favorite. She said, that would be my buddy right there. Because that's what my mom did. My mom for her.
So for years, she's had her eye on Timmy? He loves his Nana? What did he say? He loves his Nana. It's so weird because all he's done
a few FaceTimes with her.
There's a few FaceTimes with her. So my first thought was, really? We didn't hear any about this FaceTiming with Eric's mom, who is basically a professional at getting custody of people. And for weeks, or I don't even know how long, but for the longest time, Eric's mom, because how long has he been there? He's had Timmy there a week and on and off, and then another week or whatever. He has spent a lot of time alone with Timmy in this Airbnb, and who knows how many times he has talked to Eric's mom. Now think about that. Think that's a coincidence? Eric's mom, who is a professional at gaining custody of people for her whole life, he brags and brags and brags how him and his mom took custody of mentally challenged people their whole lives. He just said he says in here that she's made a living, her entire lifetime of taking in mentally handicapped people, and here she is with behind all of our backs. Eric's mom is FaceTiming with Timmy, not telling us. And Timmy's calling her Nana and singing in the shower about Nana. And she's got a bunch of plans. Now, don't you think? Now, my first thought is, really? Are you talking about a seasoned worker in the field of taking custody of people, mentally challenged people? And in my opinion, in my humble opinion, I think she spent enough time with Timmy FaceTime, and not just on a telephone. FaceTiming, okay? So she knows him real well, and I'm sure she can tell Eric, yep, Eric, I think this one's going to be a go. You know what I mean? That's my opinion. That's what I see. FaceTiming with the mom, huh? And then he's got this grand idea to bring him home and get guardianship of him, when this is what the mother did for a living for decades, is getting guardianship of everybody, and she's also spending time to the point where Timmy's calling her Nana and can't wait to go home to Nana.
Could not wait. And then Timmy's been talking to my mama, who the grandkids refer to as Nana. I got it.
And now Timmy's one of the grandchildren, when Timmy's actually older than her child, her man-child here. You know what I mean? This is Nana's man-child here. All right. He is what is he? 40. I think he's 41. And his mom is already having Timmy call her grandma. The 46-year-old, the one who's 5 years older than Eric, is going to be calling Eric's mom grandma, Nana. Wow, grandkids call her Nana, and now Timmy calls her Nana. And they love each other. And yeah, she's always said, boy, if I could pick any one of them Whitakers, I'd pick Timmy. Yeah, I'd give him a good home. Here, what did she say here?
With him the other day, and it was so weird because all he's done is a few FaceTimes with her. He's been singing about Nana in the shower, and every day,
weird.
Nana. He's been looking forward to seeing.
Every day he says Nana. Well, are you FaceTiming every day? I believe it. I believe they're FaceTiming every day. Oh, yeah. She wants to know how he's going to interview. How is he going to interview? That's why I believe she's FaceTiming.
He's been singing about Nana in the shower, and every day.
Every day.
Nana.
Every day.
He's been looking forward to seeing Nana, because ever since the first time I introduced her to the Whitakers and Soft White Underbelly, the day she saw Timmy, she said, he's my favorite. She said that
is weird. From the day she saw Timmy, she said, he's my favorite.
Be my buddy right there. Because that's what my mom...
That one, what did she say? From the time he introduced her to the Whitakers, because he said, and I even saw this and I mentioned in another video, he said that at holidays and family gatherings, they used to sit down and watch the Whitakers together. I mentioned this before. It was in a clip. And, while you and I are watching, those Christmas stories and, watching a Yule log and everything else on TV, Christmas services, they're gathering around watching Whitaker videos. And, well, from the time he introduced her to the Whitakers on Soft White Underbelly,
the day she saw Timmy, she said, he's my favorite. She said, that would be my buddy right there. Because that's what my mom did.
That's my favorite. That would be my buddy right there. So look, it was just like meant to be. And now look, they're buddies. I mean, this is bizarre at best.
The day she saw Timmy, she said, he's my favorite. She said, that would be my buddy right there. Because that's what my mom did. My mom, for years, guys, as she said, was mentally challenged. And
that's what my mom did. For years, guys, she said was mentally... For years, guys, she said was mentally challenged.
Several people like Timmy, but she said he would be my favorite. I would love on him so much. And Timmy took to her.
I mean, this is so weird. So years ago, she said, I want that one. That's Timmy. That's my favorite. That's my buddy. I would love on that one so much. And look, I mean, just, this is weird.
The day she saw Timmy, she said, he's my favorite. She said, that would be my buddy right there. Because that's what my mom did. My mom, for years, guys, as she said, was mentally challenged.
Just weird.
And several people like Timmy, but she said he would be my favorite. I would love on him so much. And
look at the comments. I'm not going to show the names because if you guys wrote on here, it's cool. We totally understand, okay? Because everybody almost was fooled at first. So I'm not going to show the names, but I'm going to show. Can't you get custody? Timmy singing "Mama" and "My Betty" in his shower would school. Yeah, that's what we remember, huh? Oops, sorry, I wasn't going to show the name. Anyway. So, yeah. Here, one person says, sounds like it's time to pack Timmy up and take him home with you. Pick Timmy up tomorrow morning and be gone, in capital letters. Be gone. Just grab him and run. Wow. Just wow. Like, he doesn't have a home. He doesn't have a mom. He doesn't have a grandma. I mean, he already had all that. Looks like you and I do. This is just so creepy and weird. And the mom's FaceTiming and... Unbelievable.
She said he would be my favorite. I would love on him so much. And Timmy took to her. And
match made in heaven, right? And I don't know what's going on, but you're real quick to leave. And
I don't know what's going on, guys.
I just don't. You're supposed to be running the show. I mean, look at this acting. Because BJ was in the camper because you forgot the restraining order, the whole deal's off. And what about Nana? What's Nana gonna do? No, I'm gonna tell you what I think. I'm gonna tell you what I think. I told you what I thought before. Personally, I think what happened was somewhere around that Friday when he was with the Amish on Thursday and came back on Friday with his buddies. I believe that he was told by APS that he's not going to be bringing Timmy home. Because as you heard, it was still, according to Eric, it was still on that he was going back to Georgia with him, right? So if it was still on with Betty, then why isn't he taking off with Timmy right now? Everybody in the chat saying take Timmy and go. Remember, Betty said, yeah, the trip to Georgia is still on for tomorrow. So, Eric, if Betty said you can still take him, in your words, she said and Nana's waiting, and all this other stuff, then why aren't you bringing him? That has nothing to do with the house, right? So, why wouldn't you take him unless... Well, you got the official thumbs down from the adult protection. And that's, I'm pretty sure when they, and you know what? I think it was game on. If I can't have them, nobody's going to have them. And that was on Friday. First thing Monday morning. Whatever, Eric's down there telling the guard to get out of there because Patrick's going to get arrested. But instead, and he did. And then, the guard left. And then the authorities came with the state police and everybody else, or whatever, the county police or whatever. They came with police, the adult protection. They came with ambulance and stretchers and cop cars to get everybody on Monday. And Eric absolutely told he knew what was going to happen. So, yeah, and that was on Monday because something happened Friday. And he had to throw this whole deal off and say, screw this. Now, remember, all those people in town, the people he said he knew that got arrested for the copper, yeah, all those people are chasing him. Airbnb. He's run out of places to go. He has to go home. And remember, he said, I'm not leaving without Timmy. And so he hustled for those papers for 3-4 days. Made this big charade about the Amish and then calls the whole deal off and blames it on BJ, Betty, Larry. And so it doesn't make any sense that he's not taking Timmy tomorrow if Betty still said yes. Well, so I think he threw that whole fit as just a, a show in front of everybody and a reason to call off the house. And the real reason is because guess what? His cash cow there, Timmy, his golden goose there, he can't bring Timmy back to Georgia. I think he got the official no. And I think he still could have tricked Betty into taking her. She just that day, she said, yeah, the trip's still on. But yeah. And the mom was there. And here's somebody in the chat saying, do a video with Betty so we can see if she really dropped the order. No, she didn't drop the order. Eric had to make it a big show and make it BJ's fault and Betty's fault. So he could just at least go home with the money. He can't go home with Timmy, but he's going to go home with that money. Adult Protection said, Eric's own words, Adult Protection told me you're not leaving the state without giving us that Whitaker money, which he did not do. And then, of course, the police are waiting for him at home. Huh. Coincidence? I don't know. So anyway, yeah, and he also said that he tried to give it to the state police and they wouldn't take it. But yeah, he got home, went home with not Timmy, but he went home with the money. And yeah, it's kind of makes sense now. But isn't that something how the mom and my question is, how come we never heard about this Nana? How come we never heard about all these FaceTimes? He says every day, and then he caught himself. Did you see that? Every day he says, Nana, Nana. No, because every day he was FaceTiming with your mom. Not even over the phone. And like, wait a minute, what? You're the YouTuber from Georgia that's supposed to be getting him in the house. And now you're bringing him home and you got Nana waiting at home? I mean, think about it. He had all this plans with the mom. Supposedly calling Eric's mom Grandma, Nana. A trip planned to Universal Studio. He's going to bring him to see the ocean for the first time or whatever he said. And he even had it planned out with at Fort Benning for Timmy to go meet the soldiers and whatever. And then he was going to bring him his friend's house who's got the animatronics and all that stuff. Chuck E. Cheese animatronics and all this other. He had so many plans. And yeah, it's all BJ's fault and Betty's fault and Larry's fault. Not Eric's fault. Not at all. No. And like I said, how is Eric gonna find all this time? Now is Nana gonna adopt Timmy? And just think about that. Because Eric is gonna probably have to go hit the road again for another 6 months or whatever he does. And who do you think Timmy is gonna get left with? And you know what? I personally, this is just a guess, I believe that it was the mom that was gonna the mom had the pull down at APS. I believe that Eric's mom, with her lifelong history of adult protection or whatever, of adopting handicapped adults, I personally believe that Eric's mom talked behind the scenes to APS and helped Eric. And between Eric's mom and Eric, in my opinion, I think that they talked APS into saying, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'll give you these papers. Now, how did Eric know how to do this? He claims he didn't know anything about APS, but he knew every step to get those papers, get the restraining order, lay the groundwork for a very strong case for a unfit home. Okay, step A, show everybody the home is unfit. Step B, show everybody how good of a daddy you would be. Step, C is get the what do they call them? Guardianship papers. And step B is once everybody gets removed from the home, just have them put Timmy in your front seat and they'll take the rest to a nursing home or something, you know what I mean? But I think it backfired. But I do believe that Eric's mom, and who knows, maybe she was the one, maybe it was going to be her adopting these, because how many has she adopted? And how handy would that be if Eric's mom did guardianship of Timmy? How handy would that be? Eric could still go gallivanting all he wants and not be home. And then when he is home, he could do all this content and, you know what I mean? And Eric has already calculated the cost to take care of Timmy is $300,000 a year. He told us that, I don't know, multiple times. I think that's how he started out this video, calculating $300,000 a year it's going to take care of Timmy. And who better than Eric's mom, right? We're going to one more for the road. We're going to listen one more before we leave about this grand plans with the animatronics and the Universal Studio and his other friends and the Fort Browning soldiers and all this other stuff and seeing the ocean. We're going to listen one more time because I couldn't even believe it.
It's just me and Timmy. And I explained to him what was going on in E.T. I told him about the ride at Universal Studios. And I could just see Timmy's face eating that up, dude. But it was literally free tickets to Universal Studios. And I figured he's never been to the beach. If we're that close in Orlando, you're not far from Daytona or Cocoa. At least let him see what the ocean looks like, I had so many, and then I had something planned in Fort Benning with the soldiers.
Yeah.
I won't speak on it, but I had a lot of plans with Timmy. I got a buddy that he's one of the last ones. Timmy's really gotten into Five Nights at Freddy's. Yeah. And my buddy is one of the only people in the country that has a working showbiz rocket fire explosion set, the animatronics. Yeah. Old Chuck E. Cheese animatronics, amongst other stuff at his house. And I had Timmy a tour that he was going to be able to do. I could not wait. And then Timmy's been talking to my mama, who the grandkids refer to as Nana. I got a video of him the other day, and it was so weird because all he's done is, a few FaceTimes with her. He's been singing about Nana in the shower and every day. Nana. He's been looking forward to seeing Nana.
Every day,
because she, ever since the first time I introduced her to the liquors and soft white underbelly, the day she saw Timmy, she said, he's my favorite. She said, that would be my buddy right there. Because that's what my mom did. My mom, for years, guys, as she said, was mentally challenged.
And don't you think that person would have a quite some pull when she calls the adult protection up there in odd West Virginia area, and she says, wow, this is just a horrible case of abuse. It's just 100 reasons why they have to get out of there. And here, yeah, who else would have this much pull? Didn't you wonder how Eric got all this credibility, how did Eric get all this credibility when didn't you wonder? Well, makes sense, doesn't it? You know what I'm saying? Maybe she called. That's how they would stand at attention like that. And then, a whole shalloo of calls come in, flood the adult protection that there's a problem, and voila. They know the routine.
She said, that would be my buddy right there. Because that's what my mom did.
It's weird.
My mom, for years, guys, as she said, was
Like
mentally
she picked him out years ago.
Several people like Timmy, but she said he would be my favorite.
And don't you think that, if somebody with all them years, yeah, they'd have a little credibility and pull, wouldn't they?
I would love on him so much. Mm-hmm. And Timmy took to her. And I don't know what's going on, guys.
I don't know what's going on. I do. I think you got a big no from the APS. You had to come up with some bullshit to split town. At least you got the money. Anyway, explains a lot, doesn't it? Anyway, I think that's all there is. I'm just going to leave it at that. These are my opinions and thoughts on this matter. But yeah, interesting. Anyway, thanks for watching and peace.